Last month, people spent 2.8 billion minutes on chess.com. Whatever visitors were doing, playing, watching, analyzing, they probably spent their time looking at one of these, a chessboard. Of course, the board on chess.com is not a physical chessboard, it's just an image. That's enough for us amateurs to keep track of what's going on. Some chess players, though, don't even need this image. Many chess masters can play chess blindfolded. The skill that makes blindfolded chess possible is often called visualization. That name makes you wonder, are they really playing chess without a chessboard, or are they simply playing with a chessboard that's in their head? Psychologists have studied chess masters to learn about expertise. How, they wonder, do people get really good at things like chess? At first, researchers came up with chunk theory. According to chunk theory, chess is all about patterns. So if I'm playing chess, I could recognize a really simple pattern. I could see a king behind 3 pawns and know to look for back rank mate. But a chess master, according to chunk theory, can recognize far more complex patterns, and that ability is what separates a chess master from me. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no, it's not about pattern recognition, it's about being able to visualize into the future. But you don't know if that's true, you're just getting that from the context of the video, so see what the researchers found out. So in the late 1900s, researchers began questioning chunk theory and looking at a different ability of chess masters. Yeah, it's mental imagery. See, when you first learn chess, you focus on what's in front of you, a single position. But as time goes on, you begin to think further ahead. And to do this, you have to maintain an image of the board in your mind. To test a move, you manipulate that image. If you've played chess yourself, you may have recognized this happening as you learn it. But the image in your mind isn't quite like the visible chessboard, is it? It's less vivid, it's more abstract. At least, it is that way at first. But you might expect that the image clarifies as you become more experienced. Chess experts might have a perfectly vivid chessboard in their mind, and that's what allows them to play blindfolded chess. Curiously though, chess experts say the opposite happens over time. They say that they filter out accidental factors like size and color of the board in pieces. One chess master said he was, quote, aware only of the significance of a piece and its course. To the inner eye, a bishop is not a uniquely shaped piece, but rather an oblique force. So that's what chess masters do, but chess masters are no longer the strongest chess players. Now we have computers, and computers don't visualize at all. Moravec's paradox might explain why chess engines would never use visualization to play chess. For a computer or robot, perception and sensory motor skills take far more computational effort than abstract calculation. The reason this is paradoxical is because for humans, the opposite seems true. Sensing and moving seem far less intellectually challenging than, say, a math problem. But for a computer, it would be really difficult to play chess with a physical chessboard that it, say, manipulated with robotic arms. Even creating a simulation of a chessboard in pieces would be a complete waste of computational effort. Chess masters might be doing something similar to a computer by removing specifics like color and shape from their visualization. They're using less brain power on non-essential things, but they still spatially manipulate the pieces in their heads. If we wanted to really understand what it would be like to play chess without any chessboard, physical or visualized, we would have to imagine learning chess without ever seeing or even being told about a chessboard. We would have to play chess like a computer. Let's try to imagine boardless chess. Each player would start with a set of 16 expressions representing the 16 pieces. The players could take turns changing the expressions, moving. Those changes would have to follow a whole slew of rules based on which expressions you're changing and the current state of the other expressions. I won't go further. This would be a horrible and incredibly difficult game to play. Here's what's wild. We are able to play this game. Kids play this game. All we need is a chessboard, a visual representation, something that for a computer would only make all of this more difficult to figure out. So where does this leave our friend the chessboard? I think it's safe to say that a chessboard, either physical or visualized, is pretty near essential to playing chess. At least, that is, for humans. It does make you wonder, what other intellectual challenges could we tackle if only we could visualize them in the right way? If if we just had a board to play on.